What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex, and in this video, we got to talk about some big darn leaks, honestly, of both Rocksteady's Suicide Squad and also Warner Bros. Montreal's Batman game. So firstly, I want to give a quick thank you to Henry Andrews and Pedro. I'm not going to try and say your last name because I know I'm going to mess it up, but these were the two that sent it to me. Obviously, I saw this. I believe this was what on Reddit, so you got to be careful. Listen, truly, you got to be careful with these kind of leaks. With that being said, and I've talked about a lot of leaks should take with a grain of salt. I've been pretty pessimistic on a lot of the leaks that have come out on these games. I know back, I could say around a year ago when I started doing this, I was way more gullible. I fell for pretty much anything that people were saying. I think as I've done this over time, and not even just Batman leaks, but everything leaks, I think I've gotten pretty darn good at being able to sense when something is off. So we have some pretty huge leaks for both of these games. Let's go through them. Let's start with Batman, and then we'll go to Suicide Squad. So Batman Gotham Knights, this is a great first one, made by Warner Bros. Montreal. Checks out. Large open world city divided into 17 districts. Each district is controlled by an elite talent. 4 main playable characters: Batman, Nightwing, Robin, which is Damian Wayne, and Batwoman. Harley Quinn is a bonus pre-order character. Okay, well, we'll talk about that in a second. Switch between those characters at any time while they're in different places, like GTA 5. Main antagonist is the Court of Owls. Talents can regenerate after being defeated and will go after the character that defeated them. That's like the Nemesis system, which we'll talk about. Defeating an elite talent means that their district becomes part of Batman Inc., giving access to new upgrades, crafting materials, etc. Secret villains controlling the court are the 3 Jokers based off of Jeff Johns' upcoming comic. Coming early 2021 to PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Series X, Steam, Epic, and Stadia. All right. Look, after reading this, and I didn't read all this through on my first go-around, Suicide Squad is another one. So let's talk about this first, and then we'll go into Suicide Squad. The large open world is divided into 17 districts. Look, that's a lot. That's a lot of districts, okay? But we don't know how big they are. So it's not the most impossible thing in the world that would happen. You know what I mean? I feel like you think of any big open world, I mean, it's pretty easy. Look at GTA 5, let's say. If you wanted to divide those into sections, you could easily do it, and you could probably make a lot of them. Depends on how big you make them, but you can make 50, you can make 75, you can make 5, you can make, you know what I mean? It depends on, again, how big you want to make them. Each controlled by an elite talent, okay? So they each have their own leader. So now we're starting to go into Middle-earth territory. 4 main playable characters: Batman, Nightwing, Robin, and Batwoman. The Robin is Damian Wayne. I'm sure that'll make some people happy, make some people mad. That checks out. Now, again, a thing to note here is if you throw guesses at a wall, you're sure to eventually get something right. You know, people have criticized me for years on YouTube on this kind of stuff. And look, to be honest, and not to like toot my own horn or anything, but in all reality, look, I have predicted and I've come up with more things than I would say, and this is going to probably make people so mad, than anybody else, than any other Batman. And it's not because I'm better than anybody, it's because I've made more videos. Okay, so I'll be flat out honest with that, but just literally based off of the stuff I've talked about, literally making a video every 2 to 3 days, I have factually, statistically, talked about this game more than anyone. Probably everyone combined. Slick Moth, Degenerate J, Luke Wayne, all of them, okay? And again, does that make me better than them? No. What I'm saying is, though, I've come up with a lot of stuff. Now, will I get some of that stuff right when the game comes out? Yes. Am I a leaker? No. You know what I mean? That's my main point. That's the main point. So just because I come up with things doesn't mean I know things. And that's kind of the point that I think of. Actually, no, this is 4chan. This isn't even Reddit. So that's great. Okay. But at the same time, things can just be made up. And if they're right at the end of the day, they could just be lucky guesses. If they're completely right, if the person is, vindicated basically, right, then obviously they're a pretty good leaker. So that checks out. Harley Quinn is a bonus pre-order character. Like, you play as her? Why would you play as her? That's a little weird. It's not impossible. We know Harley Quinn will most likely be in this game, but I didn't think you'd be able to play as her. And bonus pre-order character definitely sounds like it's not Harley Quinn DLC. It sounds like literally you'll be able to play as her. So we'll have to see. Maybe it's like how when Arkham Asylum came out and you could play as Joker in those couple modes. Maybe it's like that. Switch between those characters at any times while they're in different places, like GTA 5. 5. This is what I've talked about this. I've speculated this. I feel like it's possible. I feel like it's quite the task, and if they pull it off, congrats to them. I will give them a medal or something if they do that, but that's pretty darn cool if, again, it's true. Main antagonist is Court of Owls. Okay, well, again, anybody could come up with that. Talons can regenerate after being defeated and will go after the character that defeated them. So here is where we get into Middle-earth territory. Here's where, firstly, it gets really exciting if it's true. This game, honestly, like reading that and picturing how that could work takes this game up like 10 notches for me. But again, is it true? I think it could be, because we know Talons, like factually, in different comic lines and all that stuff, they can come back, okay? So it makes sense that just because you beat one doesn't mean they're gone for good. They come back. And what does this mean? Well, it's kind of what I've talked about with the Nemesis system, right? They remember you. They have stories about you. They can grow up the leaderboards. If they maybe defeat you, maybe they grow even higher. So it doesn't really talk about how the Nemesis system will work, but trust me, this is the Nemesis system. If this is true, which maybe not this variation, but I guarantee you the Nemesis system is in this game, that's something I've talked about. I talked about that last year. Don't let anybody tell you they talked about it first. I talked about it first. I also made a video a couple months ago. So that's something I'm really hoping exists in this game, just because I've been like the person pushing it for so long. But I really, really hope it happens. Defeating an elite Talon means that their district becomes part of you. So that, again, that makes sense. You're clearing districts. A lot of games do that, right? I'm playing Ghost of Tsushima. You have like the Mongol territories. You defeat them, and then that the area opens up. You can see like the question marks around you, stuff like that. That makes sense. Again, it doesn't take a rocket scientist. Secret villains controlling the court are the 3 Jokers. Now, this is a problem, and not for like any reason that this guy is making it up, but because I feel like he's right, and I'll tell you why. There's a couple things. One, a very early leak, and I get it, there's a lot of leaks over a lot of time, but let's say an early leak for what we know of to be this game did say that Joker is a side villain, but he makes his way into the main game. I feel like I've heard somewhere that he would be controlling the Court of Owls, or maybe it was like people saying, God, I hope Joker isn't controlling the Court of Owls. You know what I mean? So I really feel like it's possible. Also, Pedro said in like he sent me a picture, I'll show you guys, this is a real thing. Like, this is an actual comic coming up. So could they have just seen that comic and said, okay, well, I'm going to connect this? They could have, and that's definitely a thing they could have done. But another thing to keep in mind, coming early 2021, so there goes the November date, and coming to everything, including Stadia. Now, Stadia is what worries me the most. Why in God's name would this be coming to Stadia? Now, some games are, I get it. Some big games are, I get it. But I don't know. This is not, let me tell you, because I want to move on to the Suicide Squad one. This is not a slam dunk. It's not a slam dunk at all. I'll tell you flat out, I don't believe all of it. I think that some of these things are going to be lucky guesses, and not even actually, let me take that back. Not even lucky. Like, saying who the Bat family is isn't like a lucky guess. Saying the Court of Owls is the main villain isn't a lucky guess. The things that I guess are lucky guesses are the Nemesis system. But again, what if they watched my video? Honestly, and again, I don't want to gloat, but what if they watched and what if they said, oh, Alex said this, this, and that? Well, let me try and change that and make my own thing. Now, again, am I claiming they watched my video? No. But all I'm saying is I've talked about that. In fact, I've talked about it at more detail than they wrote about it. So could I be right? Yeah. And then can I go? If I'm right, I can just go around and say I'm a leaker, that I know things about this game because I have a connection there. But I don't. I've never claimed to. I never will. I mean, maybe one day. I shouldn't say never. But I've said it too. So again, it doesn't make this person right. Now, the Suicide Squad one. Now, the Suicide Squad, this one is what makes me think, okay, this is all part of the same thing, by the way. So we'll have to see if they're right for Batman and Suicide Squad. But let's go through this. Rocksteady, okay, again, nailed it. Co-op game with RPG elements, nailed it. Goal is to assassinate or capture 7 members of the Justice League. They're similar to raid bosses. I believe that, okay. Playable characters, Harley Quinn, Deadshot, Captain Boomerang, Cheetah, Bane, Poison Ivy, Scarecrow, and Gorilla Grodd. Deathstroke and Red Hood are future DLC. Red Hood is PlayStation exclusive. We'll talk about that in a second. Justice League bosses are Superman, Wonder Woman, Flash, Green Lantern, thinks it's Kyle, Aquaman, Red Robin, and Cyborg. Batman is excluded because Warner Bros. Doesn't want to show him being killed or captured. So Red Robin replaces him. Martian Manhunter will be added in a future update. Superman, Wonder Woman, and Flash will be captured, not killed. Will only be captured, not killed. Coming late 2021 or 2022 to PS5, Xbox Series X, Steam, Epic, and Stadia. All right, maybe let's go backwards this time. Late 2021, early 2022. I guess I believe that. I really want to believe in my heart that this game comes out sooner than that. At the same time, and because I think Harry Potter is kind of in the in that frame that they're saying, okay, from when they think the game is going to come out. I think that's when Harry Potter is coming out, which it's not DC, but it is Warner Bros. Own, so I think that does impact it. Again, with Stadia, like nobody plays Stadia. Stadia doesn't get a lot of gaming deals. They must have a really good gaming deal with Warner Bros. If this guy is correct. Only next gen, that is sure to upset people if that is true. I don't know if I believe that one either. Superman, Wonder Woman, and Flash will be captured, not killed. I guess we should talk about this. Okay, so they're bosses. They're like raids. I feel like that's kind of like what you would do if you're doing this RPG kind of, co-op or cooperative experience. I feel like that's kind of how you would do it. The Justice League heroes they picked are all over the place, so let me tell you that. And what they do with them, I should say this also, is also all over the place. So you're telling me that this game is if this is right, and again, I'm not saying this is wrong. I'm saying you have to take it with a grain of salt. Wonder Woman, they all make sense, I guess. But you're telling me then we're killing off Green Lantern, we're killing off Robin, we're killing off Cyborg, we're killing off Aquaman, it looks like, but we're not going to kill off Superman, Wonder Woman, and Flash. Those three make sense to not be killed off, by the way, but I feel like, why is Aquaman killed off? That's a big deal. Like, if you're just going to kill off some major players, and Green Lantern, you're killing off major players of the Justice League. So, I don't know. We've talked about it. Is it, with a game that's being part of a brand new universe, would it be too early to kill off all the Justice League members? Yes. Would it be too early to kill off some of them, like the less important ones? I guess you could argue that, but why? Aquaman and Green Lantern are pretty big deals, I would say. Okay, so killing them off, and also, the way they said it means Batman's just flat out not in this game. So that's taking a risk there. Batman is not part of the Justice League at all. So that's risky. Again, I don't doubt it. Maybe they don't want confusion with the Batman game, but I think you come up with Batman in the Batman game. Why would you not have him to keep building him in this rock? Because this is the next game after that, so why would you not do that? The playable characters, they make sense, but look, we've heard this before, especially with the Batman game, Batman Gotham Knights' villains. They just throw names at a wall and see which one sticks. Some leaks will copy others and then throw in like a couple of their own, you know what I mean? Some of them will just literally copy it. So yeah, these are characters that make sense, but let's wait like 3-4 months to when we get more leaks, and let's see how many things are the same. Let's compare and contrast. Basically, I feel like we're gonna see some weird things as the months go on. So again, I'm not holding my breath for any of it. And then co-op game RPG, goals to assassinate or capture. Again, a lot of these things, both Suicide Squad and Batman, they're believable. All of it is believable. Okay, I'm not saying it's not believable. All of it's believable. All of it could happen. There's just some things where it's like, well, would that happen? Would that not? And also, at the end of the day, you got to think about it like this. And this is not really something I've said all that much. And for those that have made it this far, thank you for watching, by the way. But we've seen a lot of games, okay, get leaked. We've seen a lot of games not get leaked. We've seen a lot of games get leaked, and then it turns out to not be true. Honestly, with things like this, literally they just confirmed you're killing off 4 of the 7 Justice League members. Okay, I want you to think about that. If that happens, and for that leak to be done, or for you to be told that a week before the game even gets announced, is quite miraculous. You know what I mean? You think about The Last of Us Part 2, that's a huge leak, but the game was nearly finished, and the game was coming out in another month or so. So things like that can happen. And, well, actually, not even. It rarely happens like that. So again, think of it a magnitude of the stuff that they're talking about. And also the Batman game, by the way, they just spoiled the ending for you. Okay, so if that happens, then we know that the Joker controls the Court of Owls. So think about that. They're literally spoiling main big things of these games, and they're doing it before the game even gets formally announced yet. So think about how often that happens. The answer is never. Okay, they're normally just wrong, and if they're right, they're complete shots in the dark. They're theories. They're honestly just theories or things that people come up with. I do theories all the time on this channel. Okay, that's just what happens. So again, could this be real? Yes. Could it not be real? I think also yes. I think that a lot of this stuff probably is going to happen, but they're going to be lucky guesses. Okay, so again, we'll have to see as these games get closer. We're not even close to figuring out who's right and who's wrong. But guys, let me know in the comments below. Either one, Batman, Suicide Squad, both. Do you believe these leaks? What do you think's true? What do you think's false? Let me know. As always, make sure you guys are subscribed to this YouTube channel, Podcast Now. Hit the bell icon so you guys know when all these videos go up. And as I've been saying, if you guys want to follow me on Twitter, Podcast Now 15 is the Twitter handle. Our Discord server is in the description below. My second channel is in the link below, Podcast Now Plus. I do additional videos there. If you guys want to support me on other platforms, other ways, there's your way to do it, okay? You guys are the absolute best. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all on the next video.